Hello, my name is Sarah Weirich, and today I'm presenting on a collaboration between a research group at the University of Maryland, Baltimore, and its Health Sciences and Human Services Library to ingest around 300 reports into the university's digital repository. I'd like to start with a quick background of our library's digital repository. It's named the UMB Digital Archive, and it primarily collects academic works and gray literature produced by UMB, as well as historical records of the campus. It's powered by a variant of DSpace, and it supports Dublin Core metadata. And while our library has established workflows to collect UMB work, we're always creating new collections and workflows as our campus evolves. And this particular project arose from a need within the university's School of Social Work. We were approached by the school's Family Welfare Research and Training Group, and this is a group committed to public policy research for Maryland's safety net and child support programs. Due to some server issues, the research group was no longer able to host the over 300 publicly accessible reports on their own webpage. So they reached out to the library for assistance in maintaining long-term preservation and access to their reports. We were happy to assist, but had some work to do in preparation to receive the reports. Here I'd like to detail some of the main differences between the research group's reports and our repository to better understand the type of preparation we needed before we took on a migration. So on the left, we have the research group's original relational database management system, a SQL server, which was able to be exported as an XLS file. The group also had specialized metadata in place, with a few fields in particular they needed to cross over in addition to our standard descriptive Dublin Core fields like title, date, author. And while all of their reports were in PDF format, not all were text searchable. That is to say, some of them were scanned images of text and not text itself. And to contrast this with the UMB Digital Archive, again, our records live in a DSpace variant repository, and we have established standards for our broad collections to keep the repository as interoperable as possible. And we, again, use Dublin Core metadata. We also have an internal policy to process documents with optical character recognition, or OCR, when possible, to make text-based documents searchable. In order to migrate the research group's reports and their accompanying metadata into our repository, we had to do a bit of cleanup. We needed to convert the original data into our Dublin Core fields and export it as a CSV for bulk upload to our repository. Here you can see a sample of select fields before and after some cleanup action was taken. And this involved relatively straightforward actions like merging titles and subtitles and reformatting the author names to either a Library of Congress name authority or to a name on our local authority lists. We mostly use standard Excel functions to perform this cleanup, like find and replace or concat functions for merging cell content. On the repository side, we had to create a few new Dublin Core fields for the research group as they did not yet exist in our schema. Two terms in particular the group wanted to add were called jurisdiction and research area. Our metadata management team met and selected fields maintained by the Dublin Core Metadata Initiative to assign the display term of jurisdiction to a dc.coverage.jurisdiction field and the display term of research area to a dc.subject.other field. There were also some requests of the research group that we could not accommodate, such as rearranging the display order of our repository filters. While we understand that there is reasoning important to the group behind this request, implementing such changes could disrupt the uniformity of the repository as a whole, And we also didn't want to open this type of customization to future collaborators. Our goal is to maintain a consistent user experience and ensure that all users benefit from a stable and efficient platform. So we instead encourage the collaborative solutions that we could implement, such as the custom Dublin core fields within the collection records, rather than the repository-wide changes. In conclusion, being transparent and explaining the reasoning behind what we could and could not accommodate worked for this partnership. We were able to migrate the OCR versions of the research group's reports with their newly formatted Dublin core metadata to the repository, and we also provided training material on how the research group can submit future reports. In the end, with an understanding from both parties, we were able to preserve and make accessible research reports pertinent to Maryland families. And that concludes my short talk for today. I'd like to thank NASIG for hosting this conference and having me participate, and my contact information is available on this slide, so please do not hesitate to reach out.